let this be a normal field trip? With a friend? No way!
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you see it. Octopus in the neighborhood, surfing on a sound wave, swinging through the stars. Take a left at human testing, take your second right past Mars on the magic school bus. Alligator nostril, climb on the magic school bus. Spank a plankton too, on our magic school bus. Drop the river of lava on the magic school bus. Such a fine thing to do. So strap your bones right to the seat. Come on in and don't be shy. Just to make your day complete. You might get baked into a pie on the magic school bus. Step inside, it's a wilder ride. Come on, ride on the magic school bus.
Sometimes the birds in a rainforest are invisible because they're all hiding or not moving. Then, presto, dozens of different kinds appear at once. Asian rainforests range from the west coast of India to Indonesia, the Philippines, New Guinea, and some of the tropical islands of the Pacific. Here, animals like orangutans and macaques live among the tall trees that look like giant lollipop orchards.
There are rainforests in the northwestern USA, which are wet and cool, but not cold. Unlike rainforests in the rest of the world, these rainforests don't have lots of different species. But they do have some neat animals that are all their own, like banana slugs, rubber boas, and elk. There are some funny fish in the rainforests, including ones that like to eat the fruit that falls in the water.
I've heard of fruit flies and flying fish, but I've never heard of fruit fish. Does anyone else think there's something fishy going on here?
Carlos?
From getting munched on, many rainforest plants have leaves that are poisonous to insects. One example is the bush that makes tea leaves. Insects hate it.
Good thing my mom isn't an insect. She loves tea.
Defensive sap, cheek-lay trees have it. It's very sticky and traps insects who try to eat it. But you probably eat it all the time. Cheek-lay sap is the chewy part of gum. You think a soccer team knows about defense? You should see some of the plants of the rainforest when it comes to protecting themselves.
Ants might not look majestic, but they're the real kings and queens of the rainforest. They live throughout the ecosystem and affect it in many ways. The nest in this ant farm is actually very small. Real ant nests have millions of members. You might think that ants are picnic pests, but ants eat lots of other small insects and help keep other pests under control, whether it's at a picnic or in the rainforest. These insects are really bugging me. My beetles look like bees, and my katydid looks like a leaf, and my butterflies are bright blue because I ran out of orange paper. Everyone knows insects don't look like that. Insects are so tiny. How can they dominate the forest? Jaguars are the big meat eaters. Don't they rule?
Trees are home to many insects and plants. Animals are great at adapting to the environment they live in. But I can't make my paper katydid camouflage itself as well as the real thing. I know that I'm adapted to my home environment. It has everything I need. My family, my computer, and lots of food. But the best part is having no predators around.
Parts of the rainforest die and then rebuild themselves all the time. I don't get it. How can something die and then fix itself back up? Don't be scared of the tree. Its bark is worse than its bite. Rainforests help recycle carbon dioxide into the oxygen that everybody needs to breathe. And by reducing the amount of carbon dioxide in the air, they help prevent global warming. Rainforests are a great source of medicine. Many new medicines that fight our worst diseases have come from plants and animals in the rainforest. Rainforests also provide lots of fruits, nuts, and spices for our table. Ever eat a mango, an orange, a chili pepper, or how about chocolate? I knew I got you there. All of these come from the rainforest. Who knows what tasty thing we'll find there next? Rainforests need water, and lots of it. It rains just about every day in a rainforest.
Unlike temperate parts of the world, which have spring, summer, fall, and winter, the rainforests only have 2 seasons, rainy and not so rainy. The rainforests are colorful, but you won't find the leaves changing color the way they do in other places. That's because the rainforest has no fall. Rainy season is during winter and spring. Dry season is during summer and fall. But in a lot of rainforests, it never really gets dry, even in the dry season. Unlike temperate parts of the world, which have spring, summer, fall, and winter, the rainforests only have 2 seasons, rainy and not so rainy. I don't understand why Tim wants to put the animals in different places in the rainforest. I thought that every animal could be found anywhere in the rainforest. How can I weave the web of life when my threads are all tangled?
There must be some way to show that all life in the rainforest is connected. According to my research, we still need to do a lot more research on the rainforest. Don't you hate it when you don't know everything?
help Adelaide the spider monkey rejoin her group. But look out for the hungry harpy eagle or else.
Use your mouse to guide Adelaide from branch to branch. Click where you want her to go, but be careful. The longer you hold the button down, the farther she'll jump.
Harpy eagles can be about 3.5 feet tall. That's almost as big as me. They live in big, bulky nests in the tallest trees in the canopy. The mouse is all you need for this game. Move it where you want Adelaide to go, and if she can, she will. Press the button when you want her to jump. The mouse is all you need for this game. Move it where you want. Hey! Click yes to take another swing through the trees, or click no to get back to the forest.
Top of the rainforest to your class. Click around the classroom to detect my class's dilemma. Click on Wanda's toolbox when you're ready to help. Click the bus when you're ready to go. Ready, class? Let's blast off to the Costa Rican rainforest. But our first stop is the Division of Driver's Licenses. Before you can drive the bus, you have to get your license. Click the controls on the right side until you get the face looking just the way you want it. Then give yourself a name and an age. Click the snake exit when you're ready to roll. You certainly are interesting to listen. Now that's Welcome to Ms. Frizzle's Drive the Bus Through the Drizzle guided tour of the dashboard. Anytime you want to travel, just turn the steering wheel to choose a new place. The buttons to the right of the steering wheel will push down to show you where you're pointing the bus. When you push down on the place you want to go, click the steering wheel and we're off! If outside exploration is part of your plan, click the little doors on the right and out we go wherever we are. Click the Rainforest toolbox to see what tropical trinkets you need to find. Click the sound button to turn the sound on or off. Click the knapsack to see a map of the rainforest we're visiting. If you want to know about the other things on the bus, click the question mark and I'll be right back. Exploring outside will fill up your rainforest travelogue and maybe your rainforest toolbox. Click the yellow.
It's mating season and Fernando Frog has to sing to attract the females. Use the levers to change the pitch and volume of Fernando's song and see how many dates he can get.
Move the volume slider to make Fernando Frog louder or quieter.
Don't worry, we can always try again. Do you want to serenade the frogs again? Great! bass. That big frog sure does have a deep voice. Hooray! Look at all the frogs you helped Fernando attract. Uh-oh, too much of a good thing. Do you want to serenade the... Great! More bass. Fernando, Mrs. Fernando, and all the tadpoles to be. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's good to eat and what's not. Help Jacqueline, the rufous-tailed jacamar, fly around and eat butterflies. But watch out! Brightly colored butterflies are poisonous, and if Jackie eats too many of them, she'll lose her appetite. Click where you want Jackie to go. If she sees a butterfly nearby, she'll eat it. Many birds live by eating insects, but some insects have evolved poisons that make them taste terrible. Most poisonous insects have bright colors that tell predators exactly who they are. Any bird that eats a poisonous butterfly once knows to leave them alone in the future. It is. Today's lunch, butterflies to go. More butterflies. It's not easy being a butterfly. Today's lunch, butterflies to go. More butterflies. It's keeping an eye on you. Oh no! Don't teach any bad butterflies. Thanks for playing.
Rain, it's a game. Play it twice, it's not the same. Well, if you can't make rain disappear, help a beetle to steer clear. Go get 'em!
Use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move Stevie Beetle left and right.
All you need to do is move the beetle left and right with the arrow key. You don't need the mouse for this game. Go left! No, the other left! Oh! course. Careful, Stevie! Do you want to play in the rain? You can't beat the beetle game, but if you gotta go, I'll see you later.
If you're a blind mite the size of a pinhead, how do you get from the flower you live in to another one more than a mile away? Simple. You hitch a ride on a hummingbird's beak. How do you do that? There's the tricky part.
A mite has to jump at just the right angle to make it into a hummingbird's nose. Use the up and down arrow keys to position your mite, and then press the space bar to launch it.
If you want to know how the game works, click the question mark. That's all the mites for this round. Let's see how many made it to the next flower. Look at all these mites that made the trip. All right! Or should I say, mite on! Look at all these mites that made the trip! Proctolaelaps crimsii is a big name for a little mite. What's a mite? Mites are the teeny tiny cousins of spiders. Mites live all over the world, on plants and animals and even you, eating things like dead skin, dust, and pollen. That's all the mites for this round. Let's see how many made it to the next flower. Look at all these mites that made the trip. So you might be finished. Is that what you're saying? Lizard? The basilisk lizard moves so quickly it can run across water. See if you can design a fast lizard for our river race course. See Basil, the basilisk lizard at the bottom? Change the size of Basil's feet and the size of Basil's body to make him as speedy as can be. Change Basil's shape by clicking the arrows next to the foot and the body. Click the Go button when you're ready to race.
The basilisk lizard can run across water because it has large feet, a small body, and moves so fast there's no time to sink.
Small feet, small body. The Pee-wee approach. Comes up the line, and there he goes. Going. This could be the answer, folks. Gets so small that the water doesn't even notice you. Uh-oh, spoke too soon there. The water just remembered that this little lizard is supposed to sink now.
Let's go again, only this time, try another lizard. The reset button.
All right, here we go. Large feet, large body on this lizard, and we're off. Look at those large feet go. Pushing, and oh, not this time, folks. Down we go. It's a free bath for the lizard, courtesy of that too large body. Large feet, small body, an interesting combination. Up to the starting line, and he's off. Let this one go, folks. I've never seen anything like it. He's running furiously, great form, but will he make it down the final treacherous yards? And yes, he's going all the way! A new winner! A new champion! Holy Toledo, folks! It looks like large feet and a small body make a river racing winner!
You did it! You made the leanest, meanest lizard. Click the reset button to build another basilisk, and that's no monkey business. See you soon!
The rainforest is full of animal sounds. Join the cacophony of calls, the chorus of grunts and growls, by clicking on the keys below. Play the keys one at a time, like a piano, or click an animal's icon to place it in the forest where you can hear it all the time. Animals use sound for all sorts of things. To communicate to other members of their group, to scare off predators, to attract mates, and to mark their territory. Welcome to Ant Antics. This group of ants is trying to bring food back to their queen, but they're lost. Your mission is to lead the ants home while picking up all the food you can. Watch out for the ant bird, because she's on the lookout for you.
Use the arrow keys to move the ants.
adaptations? I doubt it. Come back the next time you want to bug out with ant antics.
Can having ants in its pants really help a tree grow? How about fun in the sun? Let's find out how each of these affects a growing tree in ants and their trees.
Let's see how big we can make this tree. Click the big ant to invite a colony of ants to live on the tree. Click the big ant again to take the ants away. See that cloud up by the sun? Move it around, and we'll see how the tree responds to more or less sun. Click the grow button, and we'll soon see whether our tree grows strong and big, or whether it falls victim to the strangler fig.
No sunlight and no ants, huh? This does not look like a healthy Cecropia tree. In fact, I don't see our tree at all. You know what I always say? If at first, one more time. Maybe this time the tree will grow terrifically. With some sunlight, this tree grew. Well, some. As long as the ants stay on it, you can bet that when it does get sunlight, it'll shoot right up to the canopy. You know what I always say? If at first you don't succeed, tree again. Do you want to plant another seed? One more time. Maybe this time the tree will grow terrifically. Alright! With all that sun and all those ants, this tree will be in good shape for a long, long time. One more time. Maybe this time the tree will grow terrifically. It may be hard to believe, but for a growing Cecropia tree, having ants is almost as important as having sunlight. The sunlight helps the tree grow, of course, but the ants? Well, the ants act like bodyguards. Leafing already? That's okay. We all have to branch out sometime. Your habitat is where it's at. It's where you live, and it's got all the things you need to survive. Can you build a rainforest habitat? Give this forest some heat and rain and see what kind of habitat develops.
Click the thermometer to change the temperature.
Cold, no rain, tundra. weather and a medium amount of rain all add up to the kind of pine forest you can find in the northeastern USA. Green, cool, and wet. It's not mint ice cream, it's a temperate rainforest. Lots of heat and no rain? You get your just desserts here, 'cause that's what you made. Just a desert. This kind of forest pines for Georgia, because Georgia, USA, is where you want to be if you're a warm, temperate pine forest. Lots of rain, warm breezes, lush green trees. Looks like a tropical rainforest to me. Throw in a few thousand species of plants and animals and we're there. A forest needs lots of heat and rain to become a rainforest. How much? It has to be around 80 degrees Fahrenheit all year round, and over 6.5 feet of rain must fall on the forest each year. I'm always ready to play habitat build, whether or not.
Life's pretty good if you're a helicopter damselfly just buzzing around, catching spiders and laying eggs. The only problem is the Rufus Mott, who thinks you'd make a pretty good lunch. Think you're ready to evade and lay eggs? Here goes. You'll be a damselfly in distress if you don't watch the mama bird. Go lay eggs. Isn't this what life's all about? Eating, not getting eaten, and dropping eggs for bonus points. Hey you! Eat a spider! You'll be a damselfly in distress if you don't watch out for that mop bird. Oh, go lay eggs. You'll be a damselfly in distress if you don't watch out for that mop bird. You're in the High Flyers Hall of Fame. Just use the arrow keys. Dana will go where you guide her. Use the space bar to drop eggs. Well, you might have gotten chomped on, but you're one awesome chopper. Come on, play some more. It's fly to be a bug.
If you're on someone else's dinner menu and you can't run, your best bet is to hide. Put together the pieces to see some hidden species.
Click the puzzle piece under the magnifying glass and drag it to its place on the board. Click the arrows to see other pieces of the puzzle.
Do you want it? animals. You can hide with the best of them. Do you want to play cool someplace you don't have to hide yourself? Good idea. See ya.
Even at night, the rainforest stays lively. But like other species, night creatures are best suited to life in specific parts of the forest. Help these animals out by putting them where they belong, from dusk till dawn. Do you want to play the easy game or the hard? Sloths are good at living upside down on branches in the canopy, but they're very clumsy on the ground. Tapirs do well rooting around in the leaf litter, but if a tapir tried climbing a tree, he'd never make it off the ground. Check it out! That animal's where it belongs. Exactly! Whoa, I get it. Check it out! That animal's where... Exactly! 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 That's it! Check it out! That animal's... Exactly! Check it out! Animals where... Exactly! Check it out! That animal's where... Exactly! Check it out! That... Exactly! Night on! You found the right layer for each of the animals! Do you want to play again? Click Easy Game or Hard Game and go for it! Or just click... Exactly! 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 Check it out! Exactly! That's it! Check it out! That animal's where... That's it! Exactly! Exactly! That's it! Yikes! Exactly! That's it! That's it! That's it! Night on! You found the right layer for each of the animals! Do you want to play again? See you later! And remember, nighttime is the right time when you play Night Stratification. You've learned so much about rainforests. Why not make one for yourself? Just pick a leaf, dip it in the pigment, and start painting.
Click the jaguar to scare the paint right off your canvas.
Any old time you want to create is great by me. Bye!
If you want to help my students turn the classroom into a rainforest, you'll need to go on a field trip and find what's missing from these compartments. Then, use the biocloning tool to make copies for the kit.
This monitor shows how our classroom can change with each bioclone we find. I can't wait till we find them all. Then our classroom will look great. But it doesn't look like anything's happened. We probably need to find more of the missing items from the toolbox. We'll never get our classroom decorated in time for Rainforest Day. This bioclonic toolbox of rainforest models that I bought looked so good in the catalogs, but now they're there's stuff missing.
Maybe if we just leave the toolbox alone, it'll decorate the room by itself. After all, the rainforests seem to do just fine on their own.
But Arnold, the rainforests had millions of years to get that way. We only have a week. If only we could figure out what's missing from Wanda's toolbox. Show everyone how a river is part of a rainforest. How do I show a river in my schoolroom? There are thousands of different kinds of butterflies in the rainforest. That's one of the reasons why rainforests are so wonderful. The largest rainforests left on Earth are in Central and South America. The Amazonia rainforest of Brazil is home to spectacular creatures like the pink river dolphin and the giant armadillo. Amazonia is truly amazing. In Hawaii, rainforests grow on the sides of many of the state's volcanoes. Because Hawaii is alone in the middle of the Pacific, many unique creatures evolved there, like the crested honey creeper, which drinks nectar from the ohia lehua tree. Legend says that ohia and lehua were tragic lovers who are together forever in the form of this tree.
Even though rainforests on the continent of Africa all differ from one another, African rainforests are typically shorter than rainforests in the rest of the world. They also aren't as dense. This makes it easier for elephants who happen to be passing through.
The rainforest is home to many different kinds of reptiles and amphibians like my frog Bella here. From the banks of the rivers to the tops of the trees, amphibians and reptiles roam the rainforest. A tropical rainforest is a rainforest that occurs in the tropics. So where are the tropics? They're the part of the world that is close to the equator. Parts of Africa, South America, and Asia are in the tropics. So are lots of islands in the Pacific. The tropics are always warm and they only have 2 seasons, the rainy season and the dry season. Rainforests can also occur where it's cool and wet, like the northwestern U.S. But they're different than the tropical forests we're studying. Caterpillars are really just baby butterflies. Scientists call this part of the butterfly's life the larval stage. Caterpillars are bad for plants because they eat their leaves. But as soon as caterpillars turn into butterflies, they're good for plants. That's because they pollinate flowers, so the flowers can make seeds. You would think that a slow-moving caterpillar would want to hide from predators. But caterpillars like this one are brightly colored to tell birds, but they taste yucky. When they're ready, caterpillars make a shell for themselves called a chrysalis. the chrysalis. They change, and a few weeks later, they pop out as butterflies. That's one terrific transformation. Becoming a butterfly takes a lot longer than this. But isn't it beautiful how things can change? Bye-bye, butterfly.
It should be easy to get some rain for my project. All I have to do is plan a picnic, and then I know it will rain. But how do I show rain indoors? It's all that rain that makes the rainforest environment so special. I wonder why it rains there so much and not somewhere else that needs it, like the desert. Vines can be found on many of the trees of the forest. My vines are mainly found on my desk. I can't make them stay up anywhere.
I have to show that different animals live in different parts of the forest. That sounds easy, but which animals go where?
Don't big animals live on the ground and small ones live in the trees?
That makes sense, Phoebe. But I saw a picture of a big jaguar in a tree. I wonder how some animals live in the treetops while others live on the ground. They couldn't be that much different, could they? Maybe they could.
I wonder what kind of homes animals have in the rainforest. If it rains that much, I hope they have gutters. I read that the rainforest is a whole different world at night. But why doesn't anybody have pictures of it?
Because it's dark, and I don't want to be the guy out there with the camera and all those wild animals.
Everyone's been working very hard on projects about the rainforest. Give those projects some clicks, and you'll learn all about them. Class, this is coming along splendidly, but adventure awaits us back in the rainforest. This Rainforest at a Glance map will show us around. Click each section to hear about its highlights. The understory is where the rainforest has its roots. It's high time for you to visit the Mimicry and Camouflage zone. There's a river racing through this rainforest. Who knows what can be found when you investigate life down near the ground? The treefall gap in a rainforest lets the sunshine in. Plants and animals live on other plants and other animals in the rainforest. You'll meet some of them here. Where the sun shines in, there's sure to be a garden. The canopy is at the top of the rainforest. High in the canopy, you'll find an area that's home to figs and frogs, as well as some other species. Let's not mince words. The tips of the treetops are not just for birds. Sometimes everything comes full circle. Take this fruit. A monkey did. He ate it and pooped the seeds out. Guess what grew from that? More fruit trees. And how's that for a fruitful cycle? How does a hummingbird feed a beetle? Watch. While hunting for nectar deep inside, this hungry hummingbird pollinates a flower. That flower grows into a plantain, whose leaves make a meal that's just right for this beetle. That's one beautiful food web. A plant can be a nursery for one species and a snack bar for the other. Look at a bromeliad. Rainwater collected in it and made a tiny pond. A mosquito laid her eggs on the water, and now the larvae are wriggling around, just in time for a warbler to eat them. It's all part of life in the rainforest. But without the tree, the bromeliad, the rain, and the mosquitoes, the warbler would not be eating this midday meal. on, everyone, do the food chain. A wealthier palm drops its seeds. Those seeds are eaten by a spiny rat. A bushmaster snake eats a rat, and that is the end of that. Of course not. The food chain goes on and on and on, and on and on and on and on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sometimes everything comes. If you want to help my class finish their classroom rainforest, you need to find the items missing from this tropical toolbox. See how your cursor just turned into a question mark? Use that question mark to click on anything in the toolbox, and I'll tell you how it works. Clicking here changes your cursor to a field guide of rainforest species. Move the guide around the forest, and when it flashes on something, click it to hear the species name. Clicking here changes your cursor to a spotting scope. Scope your way around the forest, and when it flashes, click to see what's in the distance. Clicking here changes your cursor to a butterfly net. When the net flashes, click to see different rainforest butterflies. Clicking here changes your cursor to a magnifying glass. Move the magnifying glass around, and when it flashes on something, click for a close-up. Clicking here changes your cursor to a microphone. Move the microphone around, and when it flashes on something, click to hear some spectacular rainforest sounds. For some creatures, hanging out means hiding out, and the best thing is to see but not be seen. Look around the rainforest and see if you can find a leaf that's not quite a leaf. Maybe my friend Katie didn't get named after this bug. Or maybe she did. Seek this rainforest insect in the part of the understory where mimicry and camouflage are a way of life.
These fig vines are beautiful, but they're killers, and if they get their tendrils on a tree, they'll choke it to death. They're called strangler figs, and if you ask me, that really figures. Bromeliads store water in tanks formed by overlapping leaves. Lots of little plants and animals live in the water. And what do they say to the bromeliad? Thanks for the water! Beauty is only skin deep, but so is the poison on this poison dart frog. One lick is enough to make any predator look somewhere else for its dinner.
Nice draw you got there, partner, but it's time to saddle up and head back to the rainforest. This is where you'll keep the pictures from all the places you visit. On blank pages next to the pictures, you can write whatever you want. To look at another page, click the corner of the page or a tab marker. And to print a page, just click the print button.
If a new look is what you're after,
Trees by Carlos. Pioneer trees grow where no trees have gone before, taking over newly opened sunny spaces in the tree gaps. To thrive here, they have to grow fast. Like the Cecropia tree that reaches the sky quickly by putting up hollow stems instead of thick, sturdy ones. But competition is fierce, and eventually these trees are edged out of the sunny spots by tougher and taller rivals. Pioneer trees. Understory palm trees. Understory palms know that patience pays off. They survive for years on tiny amounts of sunlight until a nearby tree falls. Then they grow as much as they can before other trees shade them in again. The walking palm is especially good at finding light. It grows along the ground until it finds a sunlit spot. It's walking towards the light, so to speak. Canopy trees. Canopy trees are both the support columns and the roof of the rainforest. Their leaves keep the rainforest warm and wind-free. Their mighty trunks and branches support the vines and bromeliads that are home to everything from monkeys to frogs. But the trees are also greedy and absorb almost all of the sunlight, leaving very little for the plants below.
Flowers by Tim. Orchids. If you are a member of the orchid family, you'd have more relatives than any other plant in the world. There are more than 25,000 different types of orchids. Some have spectacular big flowers, and some have very tiny blossoms. Orchids use clever tricks to get pollinated. Some flowers look like female bees so that the male bees are attracted to them. Other orchids produce smells that euglossine bees find irresistible. Rainforest flowers at home. Check this out. Many of the most beautiful flowering plants of the rainforest can live in people's houses. The visitors from the rainforest that do best indoors are the understory plants. That's because they're used to growing without a lot of sunlight. The way I see it, home is wherever your roots are. Bromeliads. Do you have any wild relatives that live in the rainforest? Pineapples do, and they're called bromeliads. Bromeliads live on trees, holding onto the branches with their roots. On top of each bromeliad is a tight ring of leaves that catches enough rainwater to make a little pond. Dozens of small animals and plants can live in this pond. The waste from these creatures gives the bromeliad all the food it needs. Sounds perfect? The only problem is that too many bromeliads in the branches can tip over a tall tree.
Insects by Ralphie. Ants. Ants. In the tropics, insects rule, and insect numero uno is the ant. Rainforest ants do all sorts of incredible things, like cleaning up the leaf litter and planting seeds. Army ants run raiding parties for food and make houses out of their own bodies. Leafcutter ants farm fungi on leaves they collect from the forest. Some ants even protect the plants and animals that give them food and nectar. Yup, ants are amazing and abundant. Beetles. You've heard of the age of dinosaurs. Well, some scientists say we're living in the age of the insects. And no insects are more bountiful than the beetle. One biologist estimated that 18,000 species occurred in just a couple of acres of rainforest in Panama. Are beetles diverse? Definitely. They can be small, sparkling gems like tortoise beetles, or tough tanks like rhinoceros beetles. Some beetles fly by day, others fly by night. Some night beetles, like the fireflies, make their own light. Others, like the click beetle, absorb light all day and then glow in the dark all night. Roaches. Roaches don't just live in your kitchen and in roach motels. In the rainforest, roaches live just about everywhere. Many species actually live in families, where the parents provide food and protection for their young. Not all of them look like the roaches you step on. Some roaches are quite handsome and can be cream-colored, deep dark brown, or even blue. Blue? I could decorate my locker with them. Wait, what am I thinking?
Birds by Arnold. Eagles. The king of the Costa Rican rainforest sky is the spectacular harpy eagle, a giant bird that stands up to 3.5 feet tall. The harpy builds its nest with sticks high in the treetops of the tallest trees. These huge hunters zip through the branches, picking off sloths and unsuspecting monkeys. Harpy eagles need lots of land to live and hunt on. As more of the rainforest is being used by people, harpy eagles are becoming rare. In some places, they're even extinct. Migrating birds. Have wings, will travel is the motto of many rainforest birds. They have the best of both worlds, spending the winter in the warm tropical rainforest and the summer further north in cooler places like the United States and Canada. The robin, which brings this first sign of spring to New York, may have come all the way from Central America, a 1,000-mile trip. Toucans. If you spend any time in the rainforest, you'll probably hear the barking croak of the toucan. Look up and you'll see the toucan sitting in a fruit tree, snipping off hard-to-reach fruit with its long, bright bill. Those bills look heavy, but they're actually very light. Toucans' bills are hollow and crisscrossed by thin supporting rods. Toucans also eat lizards, snakes, eggs, and the chicks of other species. Toucans are a tough bunch and will quickly bully other birds away from food and even out of their homes.
Reptiles and Amphibians by Wanda. Lizards. Lizards of all colors and sizes scuttle and scurry around the rainforest. There are little brown anolis lizards and flashy blue-tailed ameiva lizards. Most lizards are insect eaters, but not iguanas. These big, green, dinosaur-looking lizards sit in the treetops and eat leaves all day. They can easily grow up to 6 feet long. Iguanas are hunted by jaguars, who wait for the giant lizards to come out of the treetops to lay their eggs in underground burrows. Rainforest frogs and toads. Frogs and toads come in so many shapes, sizes, and colors that they could be called the rainbows of the rainforest. But frogs and toads everywhere seem to be mysteriously disappearing. One example is the golden toad of the Monteverde cloud forest in Costa Rica. This spectacular orange-gold toad, which used to be found everywhere in its wildlife preserve, has not been seen for years. The golden toad has become a symbol of the mysteriously disappearing amphibians. Snakes. The rainforest is full of slithering snakes, but many are hard to see because they blend in so well with their environment. The fer-de-lance viper and the boa constrictor blend into the surrounding leaf litter, which makes it easy for them to sneak up on their prey. The giant boa constrictor will wrap its coils around a victim and squeeze it to death.
Mammals by Dorothy Ann. Cats. Some of the world's most beautiful wild cats, like ocelots, pumas, jaguars, and jaguarundi, live in tropical rainforests. Some of them, like pumas, live as far north as the western USA. When you see a big cat, never ever run away from it. It might chase you just for the fun of it, and 300 pounds of jaguar muscle will win every time. According to my research, the best strategy is to face the wildcat and shout or clap, walking slowly towards it. Monkeys. Rainforests make life pretty easy for monkeys. The climate is warm, there's food all year round, and best of all, the monkeys can spend all their time in the trees, far away from the predators that live on the ground. Like humans, monkeys tend to be very social and travel in large family groups. Babies travel on the adults' backs as they swing and jump through the trees looking for food. The monkeys that live in this part of the world are well adapted for tree travel. Some of them have long, curling tails that they use like a fifth hand. I guess you could say that their tails are very handy. Bats. When it gets dark in the rainforest and you hear wings flapping and see dark silhouettes against the night sky, you know that the bats are out and about. In the tropics, bats are as common as field mice are in North America. Most bats eat fruit and insects, but vampire bats eat other mammals and small rodents. According to my research, there is even a fishing bulldog bat, which uses its big feet to catch fish near the surface of the water.
Parasites by Keisha. Animal parasite. Look around and you'll notice that animals are always scratching and cleaning themselves. That's because just about every animal has parasites that try to drink its blood or lay their eggs on the animal. When monkeys sit around preening each other, it's not just a social activity. It's a matter of good health. Ticks, fleas, and flies are just some of the parasites that attack larger animals every day. No wonder the scratching and cleaning goes on forever. Plant parasites. Even plants can be parasites. Mistletoe is a plant parasite that lives on top of other plants and takes nutrients out of them, often killing them in the process. Insect parasites. Warm-blooded creatures like jaguars and monkeys aren't the only targets for parasites. Insects make tempting targets for insect parasites, like wasps. Tiny wasps lay their eggs inside caterpillars and other insects. The young wasps hatch and eat their victims alive from the inside out, and then they emerge from the sides of their victims. Bad, oh bad, oh bad! For the caterpillar, that is.
Rainforest Fundamentals by Miss Frizzle. Sun, wind, and rain. Weather is very important to a rainforest. A rainforest needs lots of rain. More than 6 feet of rain a year to be exact. But it also needs lots of sunlight to keep the temperature just about 82 degrees all year round. The wind plays a part too. Down in the understory, you might not feel the wind. But up in the canopy, the winds can blow hard enough to knock down the older trees. Oh, this isn't bad, because it helps create the tree gaps that the forest uses to renew itself. Stratification. Just like an ocean, a rainforest has many different layers of life. There are animals that only live near the ground, like tapirs, and animals who only live in the trees, like sloths. Every animal in the rainforest lives in the area that's best for it. A sloth's long arms and legs are great for hanging around in trees, but they're not much use on the ground. A tapir's hooves make it impossible for him to climb a tree. But down on the ground's a great place for him to scavenge for food. Doing their own thing. Animals and plants cooperate, but not the same way that we do. For example, a bee pollinates a flower and gets nectar in return. But the plant and the bee never made a deal about this. A bee going after nectar rubs against a stalk of pollen, not because the bee wants to take care of the plant, but because the plant put the stalk between the nectar and the bee. By using each other like this, animals and plants around the world have formed a balance that has survived for billions of years.
Products of the Rainforest by Phoebe. Medicine. Not only are rainforests beautiful, they are also beneficial to humanity. 1/4 of the world's drugs come from plants, and most plant species live in the rainforest. Scientists think that they will find many more cures for diseases by exploring the plant and animal life of the rainforest. Right now, the saliva of vampire bats is being used to develop a drug to prevent heart attacks. Food. Did you know that there are 30,000 plants in the world with edible parts? But most of the food that people eat comes from just 20 of those plants. Some famous rainforest foods include pineapple, chocolate, Brazil nuts, heart of palm, bananas, mangoes, and papayas. But there are many others that most people have never tried, like tamarinds, cherimoyas, carambolas, coquitos, lulos, and mamones. Material. You might even be chewing a piece of the rainforest right now. The chewy part of gum comes from the Manocara, a species of the chiclay tree. Chiclay trees are also an important source of timber and latex. At my old school, we learned that many useful building materials and textiles come from the rainforest plants.
I'll say, it sure looks luscious out there. Click the yellow doors on the right if you want to go outside to explore. Let's go outside. The jaguar is the king of this jungle, and that's no lion.
Welcome to Correctamundo, the game show of rainforest trivia. I am your host, El Tigre. And today's contestants are the spider the monkey, fer de lance the viper, and iguana the lizard. The first question for 100 points is, what animal is the top predator in the rainforest, eating anything from frogs to fish to tapirs? Millipedes! Wrong. It is me, the jaguar. Now for 200 points, which predator is equally active day and night? My Aunt Sylvia? Wrong. It is me, the jaguar. Now for 300 points and our grand prize of our very own Cecropia tree. Which animal has a spotted coat and is worshipped in many native cultures as a god? That would be you, the jaguar? Correctamundo! You are our new champion, but I am still hungry, so I'll eat you anyway. Thanks for playing Correctamundo. Join me next week when my our contestants will be a peccary, a three-toed sloth, and a caiman. Bye-bye.
Wow! Look at that hawk! It must be the fiercest bird in the forest. I don't know about that, Carlos. The rainforest is full of fierce birds, like vultures, eagles, and hawks. Thousands of species of butterfly live in the rainforest.
One of the rarest butterflies, the 8-spotted skipper, lives right around here. Only 2 of them have ever been found. Hey, I think I found the 3rd one.
picked a fine time to play Tarzan.
Vine time to play Tarzan? Oh, brother.
Life in the rainforest is so intricate. There are ants that live on only one kind of tree, and butterflies that use only those ants and those trees to protect its caterpillars, and so on and so on and so on.
In a rainforest, the animals and plants all depend on each other. So when one species is endangered, many others are also affected.
This makes every species precious and important.
Think you know bugs? You ants see nothing until you've seen the thousands of species that live in the rainforest.
Careful, Liz! Coral snakes have a deadly bite, and their favorite foods are eels, snakes, and, did I happen to mention, lizards? Hey, Jaguar! Here, kitty kitty!
Wanda, something tells me he doesn't want you to scratch him behind the ears and rub his belly.
What huge trees! Let's go climb them!
Whoa, Wanda. Those are tall trees. You need special stuff to climb them yourself. Besides, even if it's you climbing, I'm still scared of heights. Think of all the foods you eat that come from the rainforest. Oranges, chocolate, nuts, cola, cinnamon, pineapple, all the fun food groups. All these animals and plants. How could one place have so much different stuff in it?
Diversity is the rainforest's middle name, Ralphie. Or my middle name isn't Felicity.
Fallen leaves carpet the rainforest floor, creating new soil and a home to many creatures. This layer of life is called the leaf litter.
Remember, class, there's no place for litter bugs in the leaf litter. All right, class, let's take it to the bridge, or at least to the river. Just ask and I'll deliver. Here we are at the river. Now, let's take a look.
Wow! Check out this glass frog. You can see almost clear through to its insides.
If this frog gets sick, she won't need any x-rays.
This big thing is the smoky frog, and it's one of the largest amphibians in Costa Rica's rainforest. Is that an otter? I thought they only lived up north.
You mean an otter not be here?
Carlos.
And why shouldn't they be here? There's good weather and fish to catch, and having a fur coat doesn't necessarily keep you out of the tropics.
Compared to the Amazon, there are very few fish in the Costa Rican rainforest. I'm not going near that water. It's probably full of piranhas.
Cool out, Ralphie. Piranhas only live in the Amazon.
Even without the piranhas, I don't want to go swimming until I know exactly what's in there.
Anyone for a machaca sandwich? I've heard that fruit-eating fish are awfully tasty.
Sure, but are you gonna catch it, gut it, skin it, and clean it first?
Ugh. Maybe I'll just stick to my peanut butter and jelly. Hey, Ralphie, what do you call a fish with $1 million?
What?
Rish! To some, the bright blue morphle butterfly is a symbol of the rainforest.
And to some others, their wings are just a piece of jewelry. Thousands of male morphos die this way every year. This glass frog just laid some eggs on that leaf over the stream. Now she's gonna watch them for a day to make sure they're all right.
I think it's apparent that frog is a semi-transparent parent.
Carlos!
Hey, that lizard's running across the river. Let's see what its slick trick is. Come on, get your feet wet.
Bye!
Welcome, intrepid explorer. Morpho butterfly. Smoky frog. Glass frog. Morpho butterfly. Basiliscus basiliscus. Smoky frog. Southern river otter. This is no time to sit. Mannequin. Baird's taper. Let the river roll, class. It's time for another look at the understory. Coral snake. Chestnut mandibled toucan. Swainson's hawk. Mannequin. Glass-winged butterfly. Bees and bee lookalikes.
I can't wait to draw all these shapes and colors. Look around for things to record in our rainforest travel log. Shape and color, help some animals hide, help some animals find mates, and even help some animals say, I'm poisonous.
According to my research, every inch of a rainforest is bursting with life. There are animals that live on animals that live on plants that live on other plants. And even more life on top of that. On top of the thousands of species we already know about, the rainforest has many thousands more that we've never even seen.
I think I found a new one right over here.
Oh no, not another new species to worry about. They have lizards by the blizzard down here in the rainforest. From 4-inch long anolis lizards to 6-foot long lizards like iguanas and tegus. But there's only one of my favorite kind of lizards, lizards.
Careful where you sit, Arnold. The leaf litter is home to all kinds of creatures that you might not want to sit on.
Oh, brother. Maybe I'll just stand here and try not to step on anything. Never mind.
One thing's for sure, this place is 100% wet.
Rainforests are so wet that some plants don't even need roots to get water. They just catch the rain in their leaves as it falls and falls and falls.
Wow! I didn't know the rainforest would be so open. I thought I'd be tripping over vines and stuff, like you see in the jungles and movies.
It's only like that at the edge of the forest, Quiche. Inside the forest, only a few plants grow on the ground.
Beetles in the rainforest come in all shapes and sizes. Some are up to 3 inches long. Some have large pincers. And some even have antlers.
Uh-oh, I think you woke her up. Just like owls at home, this spectacled owl sleeps by day and hunts by night. Not every bird in the forest is a tropical species. Many northern birds, like robins and orioles, migrate here for the winter.
What's all the flap about?
Let's see. That's a parrot, but what are all those other birds?
The rainforests are home to lots of birds, Keisha. There's plenty of parrots, but there are also hornbills, antbirds, toucans, hummingbirds, macaws, and even robins.
Some animals hide so well that their tracks are all you'll ever see. Let's see what we can see about the ways animals hide. That is, if we can find them. These guys are in disguise, which is to say that some plants and animals survive by looking like something else. Either something predators won't notice, or something that frightens them off. Now you see them, now you don't. They're mimics, they're camouflage, and here's your chance to play Hide in Species.
Thanks for hiding out with us. Bye.
This mimic really has her act down pat. She's even swaying slightly as if she were a leaf moving with the breeze.
An award-winning performance, I'd say. And if she can hide all day, she's got the night to eat and lay eggs.
Careful where you grab a tree in the tropics, or you might find yourself on the business end of a giant tropical ant. They bite and sting really hard.
Good thing these inch-long antagonists are usually found wandering solo, looking for food. They eat leaves, dead insects, and nectar from tree seedlings.
Wait, that's not bird poop. Those are small caterpillars. What a great disguise. Who would eat bird poop?
Butterflies, moths, and especially katydids have learned to disguise themselves as a bunch of different plants. Some look like bark or dead leaves, but this one looks like a chewed up leaf.
Now that's what I call going undercover in the understory.
Careful! That's a Ferret viper, and it's the most venomous snake in the entire forest.
Whoa! That's the snake known as the two-step. Because if it bites you, you might walk 2 steps before you die.
According to my research, the animal kingdom is full of con artists and fakes.
I think they'd prefer to call it creative survival. Besides, anything goes when it comes down to eating and being eaten.
Just look at all the things we've seen.
And all the things we haven't.
So, how am I supposed to draw these creatures if I can't even tell that they're there?
Look carefully, Tim, and use your imagination. In the rainforest, the harder you look, the more you find.
I was a camouflage creature once. 2 years ago, I was a rock in the school play.
Rock on!
Poop mimic. Giant tropical ant. Fer-de-lance viper. Katydid. Tiger wing butterfly mimic. Poop mimic. Poop mimic.
The tiger wing butterfly is very beautiful and very poisonous, so predators avoid eating it.
And I bet that lots of other butterflies that aren't poisonous have evolved to look like a tiger wing, so predators will avoid them too.
You're both right, except for one thing. That's not a tiger wing you're looking at. It's a Danaid egg fly, one of many tiger wing imposters.
According to my research, some species of millipedes can grow up to 4 inches long.
That's a lot of creepy crawly, but when your name means 1,000 legs, I guess you need a lot of room to stretch out.
Millipedes have a lot of legs, Tim, but not quite 1,000. Even the biggest millipede only has about 400 legs.
An expert can look at tracks and tell what kind of animal made them, how large it is, whether it's male or female, what it was doing when it left the tracks, and how long ago the tracks were made.
That's a lot of meaning from a little bit of mud.
Rain. Who did? You did. Bioclone the missing katydid. It's something the rainforest can't do without, like gas in a car. It makes the rainforest go. The leaves of the trees are designed to get rid of these. They're not hard to get if you can guess where to find these elusive drops. It's the rainforest's first name. Find a puddle where it collects, and you can collect a bioclone for our kit. Even in a sunny garden, it rains sometimes. It's time to leave the undetectable and go back to the understory. Tortoise beetle. Spectacled owl. Robin. Ocelot. Jaguar. Look at the little lizards that you've found. Let's take a lizard-eye look at life near the ground. It's time to get down, near the ground, that is.
Heliconia's caterpillars like to eat the leaves of the passion flower vine. I think they should rename the rhinoceros beetle the rhinoceros beetle. I think they should rename the rhinoceros beetle the rhinoceros beetle.
Some of these leaves are huge. I sure am glad I don't have to rake the rainforest. Tree climbing? No way! If I want to get to the top of a tree, I'll sit on a seat and wait for it to grow me up. Ocelots look and sometimes even act just like regular kitty cats, with fancy fur coats.
But if you pick one of these up, you're the one who'll get scratched behind the ears. The rhinoceros beetle gets its name from the big horn on its head. Well, what else could it remind you of?
Maybe a shiny mouse with antlers and no tail? Nah, let's stick with rhinoceros. Isn't love grand? Help Fernando Frog find all the mates he can in... Frog!
Thanks to me, Fernando, Mrs. Fernando, and all the tadpoles to be.
We've woken up that owl. She usually sleeps by day.
Spectacled owl. mannequin, rhinoceros beetle, ocelot, Baird's tapir.
Of all the mammals in the rainforest, tapirs are the biggest.
Good thing they're herbivores. That means they only eat plants.
Jaguar,
Then, Hut, it's time to play ant antics. And that's in order. Goodbye. I can't wait for you to play ant antics again.
our story takes us back to the understory. In a sunny garden it rains sometimes. All right, class, let's take it to the bridge. Or at least to the river. Just ask and I'll deliver. Here we are at the river. Back to the bus, class, because once we're there, we can go anywhere. You want to take this outside? Well, all right then. Get a glance at the tree fall gap.
There are many fine vines in the rainforest. Some grow down from the branches, others grow up from the ground.
These vines look great for swinging on.
There's something squirrely about this mammal. Let's check out the garden where it lives. Here we are in a sunny spot of the rainforest. What better place for a garden party? And a chance to meet lots of fascinating plants and animals.
Toucans are big bird bullies. They'll steal fruit from other birds and even kick them out of their nests. About the only thing they have going for them is their looks. That just goes to show you that beauty is only skin deep.
As my Uncle Bartlett used to say, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Arasaris are the smallest cousin in the toucan family. It sure looks like it. Those bigger toucans are shoving it away from the food. Hey, you big birds, go pick on someone your own size. Wow! Up close, the passion flower has tiny spots that look like butterfly eggs. A heliconius butterfly won't lay her eggs near other eggs. So, these spots must be there to fool her into thinking there are already eggs on the vine.
Exactly, Wanda. Instead of egging them on, the vine is egging them off.
The blue-gray tanager is one of the most common birds in the rainforest. But where did it get the name tanager?
Tanager was what the Topi tribe of Brazil called this bird. They also gave us the word toucan. To it, class! It's time to chirp, whistle, and roar your way through a round of animal chorus.
Bye! Wait, what's a squirrel doing in the rainforest? Doesn't he belong in another type of forest? Some species are intercontinental travelers. Besides the squirrels, this rainforest has raccoons, otters, porcupines, skunks, and possums. Look at that yellow lantana flower opening up. That flower isn't yellow, Phoebe. It's orange.
You were both right. As the lantana blooms, it changes from yellow to orange to red to stripes of all three.
Gee, that sounds like one of her dresses.
Blue-gray tanager. Lantana. Mannequin. Chestnut mandibled toucan. Sorry. Yucatan squirrel. Blue-gray tanager. Passion flower vine. Hummingbird. Hooray! You've closed the missing sample of rain. Find the treasure that gets by with some help from its little friends. When a light gap opens up, this is one of the first trees to use the light. Can you find this tree's leaf? Strangler vines leaf this tree alone. This tree has ant watchdogs that chase away other insects and kill strangling vines. Root around in the tree fall gap for a leaf from this tree.
Miss Frizzle, how come we don't have poisonous spikes and camouflage and claws and all the defenses the other animals have?
You already have a defense, Wanda, and it's called your brain. Of course, you have to use it before it does you any good, but I think you're well on your way.
Miss Frizzle, how many insects are there here?
In the world, there are some 850,000 species of insects, and in individual numbers, there are more than 200 million insects for every person alive today. But how many are right here, right now? Lots!
The blueberry tanager is one of the most common birds in the rainforest. But where did it get the name tanager?
Tanager was what the Topi tribe of Brazil called this bird. They also gave us the word toucan.
There are so many creatures to see. There are birds and insects and trees. But here in the forest, I hope jaguars ignore us. Because if they're hungry, it's time to flee. Miss Frizzle, if we're this tiny, are you sure no one's going to step on us?
Don't worry, Phoebe. Most animals are pretty careful about where they put their feet down, especially in a rainforest. Back to our little hole in the forest, also known as the tree fall gap.
Hyras are tropical weasels who adapt to living just about anywhere. Hyras have been spotted in the trees, on the ground, and outside the forest in the grasslands.
If a tree falls in the rainforest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Let's find out the whole story behind toppling trees.
Iguana on the scene with a special rainforest news flash. A tree has fallen over, creating a large gap in the forest, as you can see behind me. With me is a frog who lived in the tree. Mr. Frog, can you tell me why the tree fell over?
I think it was the plants that lived on the tree branches. Every tree has thousands of them, but sooner or later they're just too much and oopsie-daisy. Down goes the tree. To tell you the truth, if it wasn't for all the vines tying this tree to all the other trees, we would have fallen over long ago.
There you have it. The tree fell over because there were too many plants living on it. As you see here already, new plants are rushing to fill up the space where the old tree stood just hours ago. Here's one, a young Sacropia tree. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
No time to talk, man. I gotta grow.
Excuse me?
I gotta grow. I gotta grow taller, faster than those other trees around me. The first tree that hits the canopy gets to crowd out all the others and become a full-size tree. The rest? Who cares? Remember, it's a jungle out there.
And now for an update on the stilt-rooted palm trapped under the fallen tree. How is that stilt root doing?
Don't worry about me. Worry about those poor frogs, and lizards, and insects, and monkeys, and sloths that lost their home in the tree. This is no problem for me. Watch. There we go. Now, just a little farther. There. See, I'll be just fine.
That's great. But for you, monkeys and sloths, what now?
Time for another tree, I guess. In a few years, this area will be as good as new. But for now, there are other trees in the forest.
Yes, folks, you heard it here first. There are other trees in the forest. We now return you to your regularly scheduled rainforest activities.
These are uranium moths. Every few years, thousands of them gather in huge clusters and migrate for hundreds of miles.
Oh, let's do the toucan tango. Who rules this rainforest? None other than that spotted panther, otherwise known as El Tigre, Senor Jaguar himself. Let's check him out.
Every missing bioclone we find makes our classroom rainforest look better and better.
Piper. 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 Coati. Heliconius butterfly. Yucatan squirrel. Tyra. Urania moth. Arasari. Jaguar. Rain. See there? You biocloned the Cecropia.
I can't wait to go back there. Let's go find that last bit of the rainforest we need to bioclone.
How much do plants and animals need each other? Let's find out.
Leafing already? That's okay. We all have to branch out sometime.
This Piper's piping up to tell us something. Just like we have houses to spend time in, animals have their plants, not to mention other animals. Let's take a look. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Everybody does it, and it's every animal's way of giving something back to the environment. It may be yucky to some, but for the rainforest, it's a fertilizing feast. The sloth ate lunch and left a treasure behind. Go ahead, bioclone it in the rainforest. You may think it's not much, but some tree is happy for the donation. You might not want to step in this fertile pile, but you can bioclone it in the understory.
I'm starting to think that the only place ants don't live in the rainforest is at the bottom of the river. In the Amazon, native peoples crush the roots of this plant and use the powder as a painkiller, just like we use aspirin.
Of course, it's a good idea to check with an expert, like a tribal doctor, before you go sticking roots in your mouth. Pigeons? They have pigeons in the rainforest? But without any buildings or statues, where will they live?
If they're half as smart as they are noisy, I'm sure they'll think of something.
I guess all the monkeys that used to swing through here have to take a detour while a new tree builds itself. I wonder what will happen to this tree now that it's fallen over.
Trust the termites to take care of that. They eat the tons of timber that tumble to the ground every year.
How can a small part of the rainforest feel so large? Look at those trees. It takes a whole lot of nature to knock one of those over.
Nothing stays empty for long around here. Trees grow, plants and insects move in, and in only a few days, the whole gap looks different.
They're all in a hurry, Ralphie, because every tree wants to grow fast enough to grab all the sunlight for itself.
So what you're saying is, the winner's got it made and everyone else gets the shade.
Right as rainforests, Ralphie.
Urania caterpillars are jumpy. Anything scary, like an ant or a wasp, and boing, there they go, leaping off their leaf.
Good thing they leave a trail of silk behind so they can climb back up.
The piper's Spanish name, candela, comes from the plant's candle-shaped flowers and the fiery, jagged edges of its leaves.
Jack be nimble, Jack don't walk, Jack jump over the piper stalk.
Hummingbirds go bananas for plantain nectar. But why do plants make nectar?
I think it's a fair trade, Ralphie. When the bird flies from flower to flower drinking nectar, it pollinates the flowers so they can make seeds.
Roses are red and violets are blue. Keisha's correct, Ralphie, and so are you.
When they get big, urania moths are fast on their wings, too. They can fly as fast as 25 miles per hour.
That's moths faster than I can go.
Just one more bio. Urania moth. Wild plantain. Hummingbird. Short-billed pigeon. Euglossine bee. Cutter ant. Leaf cutter ant. Just one more. Capuchin. Just one more. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Well, as my old sweetheart used to say, giddy up and head 'em off at the gap.
People think the rainforests are dangerous, but some people have explored them for years and never even seen so much as a poisonous snake.
And I plan to be one of them. I hope.
We're lucky to see all these animals. Sometimes it's hard to see most of the animals in the forest because they're shy. Come on out, all you animals. We won't hurt you.
Nice try, Wanda. I'm sure they heard you, but I'm not sure they got the point.
Some tree fall gaps happen when people cut trees down for wood or so they can farm the land. Sometimes trees just fall over because they're too old, too big, or too weighed down with other plants growing on them.
And when they fall, they bring down just about everything in their way. Crash! You know what season it is when the trees take a tumble?
What?
Fall! Most of the ground in the rainforest is covered with dead leaves. So where did all these plants come from, Miss Frizzle? Suddenly, the ground is full of growth.
It's all in the seeds, Ralphie. Some of these seeds have waited years to sprout. Others were just dropped off and are growing fast to get their share of the sunlight.
A tree fall gap is like a little cut or a boo-boo on the rainforest. Now the rainforest is healing itself, just like the body does.
Yeah, but unlike a boo-boo, this gap is actually good for the rainforest.
It's so bright out here.
I'd have to agree with you, Phoebe. With all the light coming straight down to the forest floor, the tree fall gap is really something. I'll say, it sure looks luscious out there. Click the yellow doors on the right if you want to go outside to explore. Outside it is. Catch that breeze, class. Check out this bird's eye view of the rainforest as we check out the canopy.
What kind of cologne would a bee use? Beeswax number 5? BK1? I know, Eternity.
Carlos!
Can a toucan can and can two toucans can too? Can you?
It looks like a big field of leaves up here. Like you could just walk across the tops of the trees all the way to the horizon.
Something tells me that'd be an awful short walk.
All these plants and animals to draw. I'm gonna run out of paper. Never mind the paper, I'm gonna run out of colors.
There are 2 ways for scientists to get into the canopy. You can start at the bottom, or you can take it from the top.
As I always say, class, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish.
It's hard to climb rainforest trees because their branches start so high off the ground. Scientists use crossbows to shoot ropes over branches. Then they pull themselves up.
That's what I call going out on a limb.
Why couldn't I just go to a normal school where lizards stay on the ground and teachers climb step stools?
As I always say, Arnold, there's always more than one way to get wherever you want to go.
Do you think a turkey vulture looks more like a turkey or more like a vulture?
You tell me. Would you want to see anything like that on your plate at Thanksgiving dinner?
Hey, look! There's a Montezuma's Orapendula. Orapendulas live in huge colonies of bag-like nests near pastures on the edge of the rainforest.
Toucans may look silly, but they're mighty tough. According to my research, toucans will follow other birds to nesting sites and fruit trees. Then they chase away the same birds that guided them. Toucans are too much.
Have a swinging good time when you play the escaping monkey game.
Be your own monkey and come back whenever you need to escape. Hey, look! There's a Montezuma's Orapendula.
It's a bird! It's a plane! Well, okay, it's just a bird.
It's the turkey vulture. Turkey vultures are the super gliders of the rainforest. They can fly along for miles and miles without flapping their wings even once.
Wow! I bet that bird could use some exercise.
According to my research, sloths spend almost their entire lives hanging upside down from branches, eating leaves and sleeping. They move very, very slowly.
Who needs to hurry when you've got it made in the shade?
Toucans may look silly, but they're mighty tough. According to my research, toucans will follow other birds to nesting sites and fruit trees. Then they chase away the same birds that guided them. Toucans are too much.
Bromeliads have waxy leaves that catch and hold pools of rainwater. These pools become the home for many plants and animals.
Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Giant iguana. 3-toed sloth. Chestnut-mandibled toucan. Spider monkey. Montezuma's Orapendula. Turkey vulture. Chestnut-mandibled toucan. Montezuma's Orapendula. Mannequin. Mantled howler monkey. Bromeliad. Bromeliad. Just one more. Parakeet. Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. If you wanna follow the iguana, we'll learn more about the creatures of the canopy. Now let's get the word on the birds and the other creatures of the canopy.
Wow! He almost carried off that sloth. That must be one powerful bird.
That's a harpy eagle, Carlos, and monkeys and sloths are its main meal.
Parrot snakes hang out in trees and eat mostly insects and lizards.
Zippy, let's play the damselfly game.
Oh well, that's the end of spider season. See you later.
Montezuma's Orapendula is an omnivore. That means it can eat plants and meat, but its favorite meal is fruit.
Sure beats eating bugs and snakes. Besides, when's the last time you heard about fruit trying to get away? Why did the bee sting the rhinoceros? Because he got a charge out of it.
Carlos. Bromeliads are more than just a plant-style bucket. There are whole communities of plant and animal life centered around these tiny ponds high in the trees. Here's the scoop.
Welcome to Bromeliad Place. To the casual visitor, these bromeliads may just be water tanks made of leaves. But those who live here know that real drama that unfolds here every day. The mosquitoes and the frogs both lay eggs in the water, and young frogs love to eat mosquito larvae. The surviving mosquitoes are out for blood, and they'll get it when they bite the adult frogs. Charming, isn't it? Then there's a salamander, just stopping by for fruit. But this snake might have other ideas. And of course, there's the bromeliad itself. What does she get from all these guests? Only their dirt. But that gives her all she needs. Oh, that and any water she can soak out of the air around her. Bromeliad Place. Every Monday on Channel 0.
If that Orapendula is really hungry, he should try spinning in circles.
But why?
Because everyone knows that the whirlybird gets the worm.
Carlos!
How is a tree like an elephant?
I don't know. How is a tree like an elephant?
They both get water through their trunks.
The rainforest really grows on you. Literally. We better get moving before vines and bromeliads start to take root on the bus. According to my research, more animals live in the canopy than in any other part of the rainforest.
Just one more bioclone. Helicopter damselfly. snake. Harpy eagle. Giant iguana. Rufous-tailed jacamar. Just one more bioclone. Harpy eagle. Wow, climbing! Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Just one more bioclone. Back it is to see all we can see in the canopy. This is a mantled howler monkey. Like all animals in the rainforest, she is really something to howl about. Here we are, class, amongst the menagerie of plants and animals in this tiny slice of the canopy. Watch your step, or you'll be walking on air. We're really up there.
All these plants and animals have made their homes up here. I've heard of tree houses, but this is one high-up habitat. The weather's so much calmer down in the understory than it is up here. Are we even in the same forest?
We're in the same forest, but the understory is protected by the canopy, which is like a big tent over the rainforest. The canopy stops the wind and keeps the rain from hitting the plants too hard. I wish I had a canopy.
Would you settle for an umbrella, Arnold?
If the snake's about to bite you, you should just say, thanks, but no fangs. Mistletoe isn't the only mischievous plant in the forest. From high up in a tree's canopy, a fideo plant can wind up to 500 yards of thin strands around a tree.
Fideo? Fideo means spaghetti in Spanish. Now I know where the plant got its name. Cool. This red-eyed tree frog lives in bromeliads up in the canopy, but it jumps down to the swamps below to mate.
That is one fearless frog.
Now that's jumping to the right conclusion.
Jumping from the high branches to go into the water may be fun for a frog, but climbing back up these tall trees must get tiring.
No matter how odd they seem, Tim, animals do things for a reason. In this case, the frogs head to the swamp because their eggs need lots and lots of water.
That That's a mantled howler monkey. Sometimes they're hard to see because they hide out in the branches.
Yeah, but even if you can't see them, you can sure smell where they've been. Whoa, look out below.
Uh-oh, I think he noticed us. He might go on like this for hours.
Now we know why they're called howler monkeys. They'll howl at sunrise, at sunset, at other monkeys, and even at airplanes. It's a good thing they don't have mirrors, or they'd howl at themselves, too.
No time for monkeying around. It's time for the escaping monkey game.
Be your own monkey and come back whenever you need to escape.
No time.
Be your own monkey and come back whenever you need to escape.
Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Spider monkey, mantle howler monkey, red-eyed tree frog, 3 turtles, 88 butterfly, tortoise beetle, poison dart frog. Just one. Mantled howler monkey. Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone. Just one more bioclone.
Do sloths have tails?
This one does. Listen carefully, class.
Any threes? Nope. Go fish. Don't rush me.
Butterflies seem to like all areas of the rainforest. Sunny spots, shady spots, high in the sky, or down near the ground. They're not picky.
I've heard there's a story for every frog in the rainforest. Here's a frog, so let's hear her story.
Tonight on Central America's most poisonous, the poison dart frogs. Hello, I'm Bill Heron, and tonight we ask your help in locating some very poisonous frogs. Be on the lookout for these toxic amphibians, but if you see them, don't even think about eating them. There are dozens of these little creatures, and the canopy in the leaf litter, in the swamps. They sit out in the open all day wearing bright colors, daring you to eat them. But those bright colors are a warning. These frogs are poison. This security camera video taken by our undercover reporter, Felicia Heron, shows several tadpoles suctioned to their mother's back, getting a free ride up to a bromeliad hideout. There, the sneaky critters will grow up in safety, eating unfertilized eggs dropped by their mother. Later, they'll walk the forest safe from all predators except bats and man. Bats know how to eat these frogs, avoid the poisonous parts. And humans like the members of the Choco tribe scrape the frog's skin in order to coat their arrows with poison. If you see these frogs, remember, they are slimy and extremely toxic. But only with your help can we find Central America's most poisonous.
Back to the rest of the canopy class and another look at where the trees meet the sky.
Your book is full of pictures from every part of this rainforest.
As I always say, there's no better way to take a look around than being outward bound. And while you're at it, keep your eyes peeled for bioclones for the Rainforest toolbox. Just one more bioclone and our toolbox is complete. Just one more bioclone, our toolbox. Here's the scoop. You found our missing clone of sloth poop. When it comes to finding bioclones, you certainly stand alone. Now, if you want to see a real jewel, head back to the school. My classroom, that is.
Wilder than the zoo. Some animals really are adapted to life in the trees. Sloths have long arms and claws that are useless on the ground, but perfect for hanging upside down all day. What daring danglers they are.
Wow! We're not just food for all these animals. They're homes, too. When the lights are out, lots of animals come to life. Wow!
Camouflage is like a costume that makes you blend in with your surroundings. I wouldn't mind a costume like that for our next game of hide and seek. Camouflage is like a costume that makes you blend in with your surroundings. I wouldn't mind a costume like that for our next game of hide and seek.
See that sloth? It lives in the trees, and it eats the tree's leaves. And then its poop helps the tree grow new leaves. Everything is connected to everything else. A web is the perfect symbol to show how all life is connected. If you pull on one part of a web, every part moves. And if you affect one species, sooner or later you affect all of them.
Wow! When a tree falls, it lets in sunlight, which helps little trees grow into big trees. The rainforest repairs itself, just like my skin does when I get a cut. Why did the tree hang out with the cheerleaders? It wanted new roots!
Zowie! Insects everywhere in a jillion shapes and colors. They may be tiny in size, but not in numbers. Look at all these insects.
Does anyone else think there's something fishy going on here?
Now it's raining. But I forgot my umbrella. It's raining in here. But at least it's not raining cats and dogs. Or jaguars and coyotes.